One of the biggest things I constantly see when coaching players in Apex is they never are able to pick a good drop spot. They are always going to new places every game and can never actually learn one spot. If you are serious about climbing an Apex ranked, you need to understand the importance of having a set drop spot and learning how to loot it quickly and know how to rotate out no matter what. So hello everyone, I'm your hostess with the mostest, 8-Second Gaming, and in today's video I'm going to go over 5 drop spots on Stormpoint you and your squad should look to be taking over in order to set you up for success in the game. I will be covering a wide variety of spots to choose from, meaning this will range from highly contested to shouldn't be contested. I say shouldn't because I can't control everyone. These are just less likely to have people going there. So let's kick things off with the first drop spot, and that's going to be Mill. I wanted to put this one first on the list because this spot is always contested. If you are going to drop here, you are really going to have to want to fight early. Early fights are high risk, high reward, because if you are able to be that winning team in the area, you'll have a lot of KP and are able to ride it out the rest of the game for easy placement points. Though on the flip side, if you die early, then you just lost a ton of points and you have to go back to the lobby and wait for a new game. If you drop contested 2 to 3 times in a row and die off the drop, then you're just setting yourself so far back. But I also really like Mill because it has a ton of loot packed into small areas. You can really quickly loot it all up, and if you don't feel like fighting, there are plenty of options to rotate out of there. On top of that, there is a beacon spawn to get ring knowledge and crafting, plus a spiders and prowler's nest are really close by to give you upgrades and attachments if you are lacking in them. If you want to be that early fighting team, Mill is the place to go. But now let's take a trip on up to the north side of the map and look at Wall. Wall is kind of a middle ground because I've seen it be highly contested with 3 to 5 teams dropping there, and I've also seen no one ever go there. So this is a spot that you'll want to go if you don't mind getting into these early fights but also wouldn't mind being alone. This does have crafting spawn here, plus a beacon spawns fairly close on the way to command center, but it also has really good rotations with zip lines, trident spawn, and a gravity cannon all right there. Wall is just all around a solid spot if you don't mind fighting for it if the need arises. Just quickly though, if you guys are enjoying the video so far, please do me a huge favor and drop a thumbs up. It really does help the channel. And if you want to stay up to date with these amazing tips and tricks videos, you'll definitely want to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. But now let's hop into spot number 3. And for spot number 3, let's take a trip just slightly south to Command Center. This is another highly contested area, but the times I've gone there, no one has tried to take the top except for one team occasionally. If your team is able to take the top part of it and wait to drop down the zip lines to third party, you should be able to win most of the time. I say most of the time because if you mistime the third party, then that's a one-way trip back to the lobby. But even if you do mess it up, you can just take the zip lines right back up to the top and either rotate by the gravity cannon or run around the back towards High Point. There is a beacon close by between that spot and between Command Center and High Point, but it's out of the way and so is the crafting spawn. I personally don't like landing Command Center, but it is a nice kind of central area on the map if your team is looking for good rotations. If you are trying to play middle zone with early fights, Command Center is a decent spot for you and your squad to look to take. But now spot number 4 is all the way on the south side of the map at Shipfall. This is what I've noticed not a lot of teams landing in. I'm not sure if they just don't like fighting in it or what, but the loot here is amazing. 3 buildings on the outside, plus all the loot inside the ship, plus beacon and crafting spawn. Your team should be walking out here pretty geared up after this. It also has solid rotations out with trident and gravity cannons. Plus it has spiders and prowler's nest close by. Again, you can get some pretty good attachments for you and your team here. It's a solid spot if you want to land south side of the map and potentially look to third party barometer, antenna, or fish farms. There's a lot of really good choices here. Now before we talk about number 5, I want to give an honorable mention to my favorite spot on the map, and that is North Pad. We did do a full video breakdown of the loot paths for you and your team and even how to deal with contesting people. That video is on our channel if you want to check it out after this video, but I didn't want to give it its own spot on the list because we did do a pretty extensive breakdown on it. But I love the spot so much that I also wanted to mention it here. Now that's over though, let's go on to our last spot, and that is the cave on the north side of the big prowler's nest between Antenna and Cascade Falls. This spot has no one ever landing in it because people don't think of it as a landing spot, but it has a ton of loot inside the cave, plus buildings and bins inside the prowler's cage. You can then kill the prowlers to level up Evo and get new attachments if your team happens to be lacking, but on top of that it also has beacon, and I do believe crafting can spawn in here. Then you can rotate any direction to get a spot in zone or try to find a third party with locations being so close to you. Though if you aren't interested in any of these spots but still want to find a good drop location, remember these fundamentals. Number 1, it has to have good amounts of loot. You need to be able to get your whole team kitted up and make sure they are able to fight. If you are all forced to land into the same building, when you are uncontested and you walk out with one gun each and no ammo, it's time to look for a new spot. Number 2 is it needs to have good rotations out. If you are always forced into the same choke point and you die over and over, then that spot has bad rotations. Definitely look to either find a new rotation or just swap drop spots. Number 3 is if you don't win these fights off drop, then you need to look for spots that are uncontested. Do what I call a reaction drop, see where people are going on the map and then pick a spot that's uncontested based on where everyone's going. That way you can find a quiet side of the map, loot up, and wait until you are ready to take a fight. And number 4 is make sure you can loot quickly and efficiently. If your team is taking too long to loot, you need to look into making things more efficient or even just moving to a new location. I like Barometer as a drop spot, but the loot is so spread out, it takes a while to loot and you end up having to leave stuff behind. But that is going to be all for this video though, guys. I hope you learned a new drop spot and found this video useful. If you did and haven't yet, please drop a thumbs up. It really helps us a whole lot, especially in our growing stage. And if you've made it this far and haven't subscribed to the channel yet, what are you waiting for? We post daily, highly educational videos aimed at making you the best Apex player you can possibly be. So smash that sub button and ring the bell so you don't miss out on any of these tips. Thank you all for watching. Once again, I'm 8 Second Gaming and I'll see you in the next one.